Hello and welcome to another episode of DVTV, bringing you the next wave of digital video. I'm your host, Tony Reale, and today we're going to teach you how to not go to film school. Now this is a question I get a lot. Should I go to film school or should I try and do it on my own? And first thing that you really need to ask yourself is this something that I want to do as a profession? There's plenty of things that you can do as a hobby that you don't need to go to school for. Art, photography, gardening, whatever you want to do, you can definitely learn how to do that on your own. The question is this something you want to do for a living? And that's a really big determining factor. If you want to do this for a living, then you're going to need to get some level of professionalism in yourself, whether that's school or whether that's self-taught. So honestly, I have three things that you really need to do if you want to do this on your own. If these are things that you determine that you really can't do or you don't feel like doing, then school might be the best option for you. Now we're going to talk about school primarily. This isn't really going to be talking about how to start up your own video business, which is something that you would do outside of or once you're done with your education. We talk a lot about that, however, in Video Business 101, and then we also talk about how to grow your business in Video Business 202. So a really, really great training course, just a small plug for that. So you know that if you want to, once you determine if you're going to either be self-taught or to be educated, but you want to start your own company, please check that out. It's a really great resource. So you're wanting to get started and you're wanting to do this completely on your own. So let's say school has been something that you've determined you're going to try to avoid. Well, the first thing that you need to do is, of course, you need to get some level of education and learning how to do stuff. The method that I chose was to go on forums, to go on YouTube, to buy books, and try and piece together this information. Back in, I know it's weird to say, but back in 2007, there wasn't as much information on YouTube. YouTube was a bit younger, and that's one of the reasons that people like myself started putting videos out there when we got started, is because there really wasn't that much available. And so nowadays there's a lot more, and it's actually a lot easier to be self-educated than it was several years ago. So with the number of resources out there, it's actually probably better for you to consider getting started this way, whether or not you go to film school or not. And then once you've done this, the truth is you're going to be doing this for a very, very long time. If you were to even watch me today, it'd be a fly on the wall at my house. You would see me most evenings on my couch with my iPad or my laptop, going through forums, going through YouTube videos, studying other blogs, trying to still absorb as much information as I can that's out there, and then adopt it into my own way of shooting. Now, the next thing that you're going to have to do is look at investing in some level of equipment or getting your hands on equipment any way that you can, whether it's at a school, whether it's through some apprenticeship, through whatever it could be. The truth is you need to start working with gear. Now, if there isn't anywhere around you that has any level of gear, which was my case, you're probably going to have to end up buying it. Now, when I first started getting into video, my first camera was a $27 mini DV camcorder I bought on eBay. Again, I didn't know whether this is something I wanted to do, and so I just started playing around with it. It even had a broken LCD screen, still does, and so the viewfinder worked, and so I spent my first films cramming my eye up to this and shooting my first little film project. Now, it sucked. It looked horrible. And I got obsessed. I wanted it to look like film. Like what was the difference? And that was my driving force. I wanted my video to look like film. And that's why I spent all those countless hours on forums trying to figure things out. So once I bought that, and I said, all right, I got to get an HD camera. So I saved up my pennies. I paid $500 and bought my first HD camera. And then I slowly built up. I sold that. I bought another camera. I sold that, bought another camera. And today I own tens of thousands of dollars of equipment, and you get to see that on the show a lot. But you got to realize, I started off with a $27 camera. I didn't start off with a blank check and tens of thousands of dollars of gear. The reason I own that is because I make a good living off of this, and I need to have the gear to be able to charge the clients and be able to have my gigs. And so that's, again, the business side of stuff. I slowly have built up to that. But you need to be able to invest in gear. Now, if you're not going to school, you can use some of the money that you may have put towards your tuition onto equipment. And that's kind of what I did. That's one of the reasons I was able to own as much equipment getting started off as I did. Now, granted, I did have plenty of credit cards that were pretty maxed out. But slowly, when I started inching my way up, I had enough equipment to justify charging for my first video gigs, and then I started doing it for a living. Still, today to this date. You know, it's more about business than it is about a hobby. And then that also moves into probably one of the most important things you can do, which is try and meet and work with as many people as you can. I say go out and bug whoever you can. I know a lot of great directors of photography and directors that are an hour, 2, 3 hours away, and anytime I bug the heck out of them. I say, if you need a grip, if you need anything, I will gladly come and I will work for cheap or free. Just, you know, pay for my gas mileage to get there. And you know, I will say my day rate is high enough that I don't really need to do that for any level of income source, but I still want to do it because I value their style of shooting. I can remember a respected director of photography that happened to be coming through the area, and I managed to bug him, and I brought in some of my lighting gear, and I said, just show me how you would light an interview scene. And he set it up in a way that I'd never seen before. And it really opened up my mind to new ways of lighting. And the truth is, you can buy your own equipment, you can play around with it, you can experiment with it, which is incredibly necessary, but there's going to be techniques that you will never learn on your own. So working with somebody else and seeing how they do it will dramatically help you. So bug the heck out of people, just shy of annoying them, and get on shoots and learn from those people. So those are really the three things: being self-motivated, self-educated, being willing to invest in some level of equipment to be able to work with, and then working with people, as many people as you can, volunteering, just getting out there and working with lots of different people. That is a way that you can slowly over time, over years, you know, not have to go to film school. Now, if you're somebody that needs a rounded education, that needs to be delivered the amount of, you know, information, you know, in a certain format, then college and film school may be the best course for you. If you have that self-motivation and self-drive, then you may be able to do it on your own, but it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. You know, it takes a certain personality trait and a certain ability. So that, I hope that helps you, because that makes it determine whether film school is the right course for you. Or if you hear this and you say, that just doesn't sound like something I can do, maybe film school is definitely the right course for you. And then the biggest obvious thing that you get out of film school is a degree. You have the ability to walk away with a paper that says, I know this stuff, and you can hand it to somebody and say, will you hire me? And again, that's something that I don't have. I have my reel, and I have my work, and I have my work history, but I don't have any college education. If there's people that want that, you're going to need that. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.